You know, they say a fool and his money are soon parted. But in the crypto world, it's more like a fool and his money are soon NFT'd. Now let's talk about Logan Paul's CryptoZoo, a tragic tale of hope, hype, and a whole lot of digital hot air. It was once the rising star of the crypto universe, the next big thing, a digital promised land of non-fungible tokens. Imagine that, owning your very own digital giraffe or a pixelated panda. It was as if Noah's Ark got a tech upgrade and set sail on the blockchain sea. Paul promised a world where you could trade, breed, and even fight these digital animals. Think Pokemon, but instead of pocket monsters, you get NFTs. And the best part, you could make real money, or so he claimed. But like Icarus flying too close to the sun, the CryptoZoo dream came crashing down. Regulatory hurdles popped up like whack-a-moles on steroids. The dream of digital animals frolicking in a pixelated paradise quickly turned into a nightmare. And then, the unthinkable happened. Paul admitted that CryptoZoo was not going to be released. It was like promising a kid a trip to Disneyland and then taking them to the dentist instead. The outrage was palpable, the disappointment deeper than the Mariana Trench. But wait, there's more. In a twist that would make M. Night Shyamalan proud, Paul announced a buyback program to refund the victims. But here's the catch. Accepting the refund meant waiving any claims against Paul and his associates. It's like being offered a lifeboat on the Titanic, but only if you promise not to complain about the cruise. And just like that, the CryptoZoo dream was more extinct than the dodo. So, what do you do when your NFT project crashes harder than a Windows 95 computer? Well, if you're Logan Paul, you start offering refunds. Now let's dive into the depths of this buyback bonanza. Picture this. You've just been on a roller coaster ride called the CryptoZoo Catastrophe. You're feeling dizzy, maybe a little nauseous, and the last thing you want is a refund ticket for the same ride, but hey, that's what's on offer. Logan Paul, the maestro of this digital disaster, has decided to open his wallet and start refunding the victims of CryptoZoo. But, and there's always a but, accepting this refund comes with a catch. A catch so big you could probably catch a whale with it. You see, if you take Paul's money, you're essentially signing a waiver that says you won't make any claims against Paul and his merry band of associates. Yes, you heard that right. You get your money back, but you lose the right to sue. It's like getting a free meal at a restaurant, but you have to promise not to complain if you find a hair in your soup. So while you're sitting there considering whether to take the refund or hold on to your right to legal action, Paul is busy filing a counter lawsuit. He's pointing fingers at the so-called bad actors involved while ignoring the fact that he was the director of this disastrous show. It's a classic case of pass the blame. It's like when you were a kid and broke your mom's favorite vase. You'd quickly point at your sibling and say they did it, hoping mom would buy it. Only this time the vase is worth millions of dollars, and mom is a court of law. But let's not forget the humor in all this. It's like a rodeo where the bull is a failed NFT project, the cowboy is Logan Paul, and the spectators are all the investors trying to decide whether to cheer or boo. And thus, the great CryptoZoo refund rodeo began. Now, while all this was going on, a certain internet sleuth named CoffeeZilla was brewing up a storm. Let's take a moment to appreciate CoffeeZilla, the caffeine-powered detective of the internet. With a name like that, you'd expect him to be a Godzilla-sized coffee bean, but no. He's an investigator with a nose for scams, a taste for truth, and an insatiable thirst for justice. And boy, did he have his work cut out for him with the CryptoZoo fiasco. With the tenacity of a bloodhound and the precision of a Swiss watch, CoffeeZilla dived into the abyss of this digital quagmire. He started piecing together the puzzle one bite at a time. Imagine Sherlock Holmes, but instead of a deerstalker hat and a pipe, he's armed with Wi-Fi and a robust internet connection. CoffeeZilla's investigation was like watching a barista crafting the perfect espresso. Each nugget of information he extracted was like a coffee bean, carefully ground and sieved to reveal the bitter truth about the CryptoZoo scam. He meticulously sifted through the digital grinds, uncovering the shady dealings, the broken promises, and the bitter aftertaste left in the wallets of the victims. This wasn't just a casual perusal, oh no, this was an all-out investigation that would make even the FBI's top agents jealous. CoffeeZilla was stirring up a tempest in a teacup, or rather a hurricane in a coffee mug. His revelations were as shocking as a double shot of espresso on an empty stomach, laying bare the unpalatable reality of the CryptoZoo caper. The deeper he delved, the murkier the waters became. But like a true detective, he was undeterred. He was determined to get to the bottom of this, even if it meant drinking the proverbial cup of bitter brew to its last drop. And just like that, CoffeeZilla had made more waves than a caffeine-fueled barista. Now you'd think after all this things would calm down, but nope, it's time for a class action lawsuit. The aftermath of the CryptoZoo catastrophe was far from peaceful. Instead, it was more like a popcorn bag bursting in a microwave, with lawsuits flying out left, right, and center. Logan Paul, the man of the hour, found himself on the receiving end of a class action lawsuit. A collective sigh could be heard from the victims of the CryptoZoo scam, a sound that almost resembled a chorus of "finally." But hold on to your horses, because this story's about to get even more absurd. In a plot twist that could rival a soap opera, Paul decided to fight fire with fire, or in this case, lawsuits with more lawsuits. He launched a countersuit against the so-called bad actors involved in the scam. The logic behind this move is as bewildering as trying to explain Bitcoin to your grandmother. Let's paint a picture here. Imagine you're hosting a party and you invite a notorious party crasher. Then, when the party crasher does what he does best and ruins your party, you sue him for ruining the party you invited him to in the first place. It's like watching a dog chase its own tail, except the dog is a controversial YouTuber and the tail is a series of poor decisions. While Paul was busy playing the blame game, he also decided to launch a buyback program. This was his version of an olive branch offering to refund the victims who lost money in the scam. There was a catch, though. Accepting the refund meant waiving any claims against Paul and his associates. It's like offering a band-aid for a broken arm and expecting a thank you note in return. So there we have it, folks, the tale of CryptoZoo, a story more tangled than a spaghetti junction. So what can we learn from this whole debacle? Well, the CryptoZoo catastrophe has served up a hearty dish of lessons, with a side of hilarity, of course. Like a cautionary tale from a cybergrim's fairy tales, it reminds us of the dangers lurking in the shadows of the crypto world. It's a wild ride, folks, filled with unicorns, rainbows, and unfortunately, some shady figures. But let's not forget the real heroes of our story, the tireless investigators and the resilient victims, because at the end of the day, it's not about the money lost, but the wisdom gained. And remember, in the world of crypto, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is an NFT of a unicorn riding a rainbow.